Hello and welcome to Friday Night Fright presents Comic Book Cavalcade 2020. Man, we're going to have some fun this month. Every episode in May, every day in May, there's going to be a brand new episode. It's going to be a mini review of a comic book movie. Yay, can't wait, hyped. So it's going to cover the gauntlet. It's going to be loads of MCU stuff. There's going to be some DC stuff probably. Might be some other stuff. There's going to be Flash recaps of Flash Season 2 every Tuesday. So it's going to be 4 or 5 of those, depending on how many Tuesdays are in May. But it's going to be tight, because I've also got a week off. Yay! Anyway, this is the intro Comic Book Cavalcade. So you hear this every day of the week, and then you'll hear an intro for the movie I'm covering that day, or TV show. Ooh, scary! Anyway, I'll be back after a brief word from our sponsor. Hey, it's May 6th, and it's time for everyone's favourite Marvel movie, I'm guessing from what I've heard online. The Avengers, the culmination of phase 1 of their movies in a big giant team-up movie. And yeah, so Avengers, just for some context, I did not care for this when it came out. Very much at all. I was very disappointed. I don't know why anymore, really. I guess it's mostly because I felt that they didn't quite make the movie I want them to make. It's very egotistical, I know, but, I am a very egotistical guy. I'm a podcast creator, so of course I'm egotistical. But yeah, I just remember feeling like it wasn't what I wanted it to be, and, in retrospect, I say in that retrospect along this podcast, as you probably worked out by now, I think it was just hipster, I guess. I'm very bit of a contrarian in general when it comes to movies. I try not to be, but I am slightly smug. And it took me a while to realise that two things. One, even if it wasn't the movie I wanted, it made a lot of money, made a lot of people happy. And two, if they made the movie I wanted, it would not made $1.8 billion or whatever it made at box office. So I think they made right call. And I do remember, being less bitter about it as years went on. And I saw it a few weeks ago and enjoyed it. So do I enjoy it in context of what's been happening at the moment with the watching all Marvel movies? I don't know, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. So this is my review of the Avengers, May 6th, 6th day, Comic Book Cavalcade. Almost a week, wow, crazy. Anyway, 6th day of Comic Book Cavalcade 2020, and the Avengers review is coming up. I have a brief word from my sponsor, because I fucking love money. So, the Avengers then. Wow, what can you say other than they stuck the goddamn landing? I didn't think so at the time, as I said in my previously preview recap intro thingy, but they really stuck the goddamn landing. This was, on rewatch, after watching the other movies in sequential order, this was the season finale to end all season finales, or phase finales, you will. The other movies were designed to be somewhat standalone, but they all beat perfectly to this movie, and culmination of a bunch of character arcs, and also set up for the future. I cannot possibly give this movie enough praise. It is especially, once again, I say it in retrospect, it is the brilliance of Marvel Studios that they managed to combine all of these disparate elements and make the most comic book movie of all time. I'm speechless. I've seen this movie so many times, but I envy it after having, gone through in order. By end of it, when Iron Man grabbed the nuke, I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And the one-shots and the action and the camaraderie and the things, and the unintentional foreshadowing set up for later on. It's a movie which pays off an entire, 4 years of cinema? Yeah, it's because Iron Man came out in 2008. 4 years of cinema pays off. And then sets shit up. And then has loads of supporting characters and all that. It's crazy. Now, the key question is, was it a movie I would have made? Or is it a movie I'd make? And I'd be like I said in the intro too, no, it's not. I would have just gone full strength. Crazy, batshit insane. And probably a little surreal. But that's the entire point. They make the perfect movie for everyone, not just, hipster people like me who like horror and that sort of thing. They make the perfect movie, the perfect gateway movie, because you can watch this as a standalone movie and it makes sense. Or you can watch it with some of the other movies and it makes even more sense. It is something Marvel would come do less in future movies, because they start realising that people are on bandwagon and that they can actually phrase it as a proper serialistic ongoing franchise, because as your next phase isn't quite that extent. I mean, Captain America 2 you need to watch before Avengers Age of Ultron, but from phase 2 onwards you need to see all of this shit to understand what's going on, because they don't. It's like a race at that point. They start doing a sprint and it's like, if you can't keep up, you're not going to win race. But how do you really put across who the best actor or best character in this one is? Because everyone gets something to do. Captain America gets his readjustment to modern ways. Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo deserves probably most props, because he has to come from ground up and make a character. Jeremy Renner at least had the cameo in 4, to give him something to work with. Mark Ruffalo literally has to come up from scratch and take on Ed Norton's mantle. I know I wasn't going to recap Ed Norton's Hulk, but we talked about briefly. It's an okay movie. It sort of would fit with the material, but you do get the impression one of the best things going forward in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, namely the friendship between Bruce Banner and Tony Stark. I don't think it would work with Ed Norton and Rob Downey Jr. I don't think their styles of acting mesh perfectly. I think it would be serviceable, but the banter between Ruffalo and Downey Jr. is perfect in this movie, and he just hits the ground running to create the best version of Hulk. And the nicest thing is, it gave them a lot of leeway to work with. I think that's what all the actors in this movie do. They have such good chemistry and they're so selfless with each other in terms of giving and taking. No one's trying to dominate the entire movie. Everyone gets their own little character arc. Everyone gets stuff to do. Everyone gets something cool to do. I'm sure you can make point at times of how they're on screen. Probably some have lots more than others, and some have kind of bottom barrel, but everyone makes a good job of what they have when they have it. For example, 4, I think probably that's because he shows up in the movie the latest, probably has the least amount of screen time, but you got stuff with Loki, you got his character development from 4 movie already, he's had a lot of development from movie to movie, and that's true of all of them. They all seem vastly different already than they did at the start of their own origin movies. Obviously, Black Widow and Hawkeye didn't have an origin movie, but at the same time, they get lots to work with. And in some ways, this is Hawkeye's origin story. Because in comic books, he was bad and then became good. And in this movie, he's good, but becomes bad, but becomes good again. And I know there's a lot to say about Joss Whedon currently, and over the last couple of years, how he's not necessarily the nicest man, how he treats his wife poorly, how he... how he might have exploited his position to sleep with younger women on his shows. And I mean, I'm not defending Joss Whedon, I don't think anything he did in that regard was right. I think it is an exploitation of power to sleep with people who are like lower in the totem pole on your list, especially if you're offering them favours or if you're beefing up their parts or something like that. That's exploitative. But he is a really, really, really good writer and director, and while his movies might have some problematic aspects, he knows how to make movies, or did. I'll get Just League later this month. He did, at any rate, know how to make movies, and he made a beast of movie here. And while it's sad to see how far he's fallen, even at the time I didn't necessarily enjoy this movie, it blew my mind. A guy who was making these shows like Buffy, Vampire Slayer, Angel, and one favourite TV shows of all time, Firefly, was now in charge of the biggest franchise on the planet, the Avengers, and he's stuck the landing. He does a really good job. I mean, he's writing for grown-ups more than he has before, because he's not trying to be so cutesy with dialogue. It worked in some things, I don't think it'd work here, but I think it's also the fact that he's been challenged by people like Robert Downey Jr., who is the anti-complacent. Robert Downey Jr. loves naturalistic dialogue, and having scenes like with him and Pepper where it feels like really real and grounded and a bit weird. And it seems like they all challenged Joss Whedon, and creative committee challenged Joss Whedon, and the Kevin Feige challenged Joss Whedon. And as a result, we got Joss Whedon firing all cylinders, realising this was his chance to go down in cinematic history. And in theory, getting a movie he wanted greenlit, although that didn't really happen. No, this is just a stunning movie on every possible regard. Is it the best version of movie it could be made? I think so. I think you probably could make movies look better in parts, but I think it's an all-round package. This is definitely the Ric Flair of the comic book franchises. I mean, personally, stuff like Batman Returns, I kind of gravitate more to in terms of being a movie which works for me and my particular interest in stuff like that. And there were Marvel movies which might be more fun, or more serious, or more grounded, or more dramatic, but nothing does everything as this one does. This is the all-round, this is the Mario of superhero movies, and I deeply regret my attitude at times not enjoying it, because good goddamn, I've seen how bad DC screwed the pooch on superhero movies. This is the Mona Lisa, or to paraphrase Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2, this is the ex-wife of Marvel Cinematic movies. Yeah, no, brilliant. And just not enough praise can be thrown on it for them sticking landing, because this must be a nightmare in every possible regard to shoot, especially with Joss Whedon, because this was... Serenity was his first movie he wrote and directing. It's a brilliant movie. But this is first time in Marvel Cinematic Universe that someone's written and directed their own movie. And I'm sure he had the base to go off, but the amount of stuff he added that still kicked life into the franchise. I mean, especially after The Incredible Hulk, Joss Whedon really just went ground up with Hulk and thought, right, he needs to have a character arc. He can't just be, you can't just go he's angry, he's not angry, he's angry, he's not angry thing. He gave these characters a future. He looked ahead while making a complete movie in its own regard. So it can't give enough praise. 5 out of 5, fantastic. Amazing, brilliant, superb, spectacular, astonishing, marvellous, mighty even, infamous, you could say. No, 5 out of 5, fantastic, best one so far, and seeing these in order has really improved the experience, and I'm very much looking forward to watching the Iron Man 3 tomorrow, see if that is better than was in cinema. Anyway, until tomorrow, remember, life is beautiful.